Everybody's building RAG, almost nobody's building it right.
AI.
AIs.
AI.
If you're wanting to know more about AI, you need to know about RAG. So watch this video below and I'll break down exactly what it is and exactly where it's going in future and why it's the most important aspect, debatably, when it comes to AI. Everywhere I go, I hear, we'll just use RAG. But here's the thing, most people don't actually know what that means, when it works, and when it completely falls apart. So let's break it down. What it is, why RAG 1.0 is already outdated, and where things are heading with RAG 2.0 and even RAG 3.0. So where does RAG fit in the AI stack? Think of it like a pyramid. At the bottom, you've got LLMs, models like GPT, Claude, Llama. They're powerful, but they don't know your business. Then comes RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation, the bridge that lets them access your knowledge base. Above that are agents, systems that can plan, reason, and chain steps together. I bet you've heard of these before. And at the very top, people dream of AGI, models that reason like humans, but we're not there yet. Metaphor. An LLM is like a brilliant intern who reads every textbook but knows nothing about your company. RAG is like giving them access to your company intranet, so their answers are grounded in reality. So here's how it works in practice. Imagine you're a banking analyst, asking, what were the key risks highlighted in our Q3 risk report? Without RAG, your model might hallucinate or pull general info about banking risk. With RAG, the system searches your internal SharePoint, retrieves the relevant paragraphs from that specific report, and then answers the main risks were counterparty exposure and delays in regulatory approvals based on section 4.2 of the Q3 report. That's RAG in action. Retrieval first, generated second. It's why enterprise fell in love with it. ChatGPT, but with my data. Now, not all RAGs are equal. Let's run through the main variants. So firstly, classical RAG, RAG 1.0. Simple vector search and single retrieval step. Inject into the prompt. Number 2, hybrid RAG. Combines semantic research with keyword or metadata filters. Better for messy, long-tail queries. Number 3, graph RAG or knowledge graph RAG. It links data by entities and relationships, improving reasoning across connected documents. Number 4, interactive multi-hop RAG. The model retrieves, thinks, retrieves again for the multi-step reasoning or synthesis tasks. And the last one, self-RAG. The model criticizes its own answer and decides if it needs to fetch more content. Patrick Lewis, co-authored the original 2020 RAG paper, said RAG grounds language models in knowledge, but the design choices in retrieval and generation matter as much as the model itself. Okay, theory's nice, but let's make this a bit practical for you. Classic RAG. Structured static info, i.e. HR policies, internal frequently answered questions, or IT help desk bots. Hybrid RAG, multi-data types or sources, i.e. customer service knowledge bases, legal contracts filtered by date. Graph RAG, complex relationships, i.e. legal investigations or entity level risk mapping. We've got like interactive RAG, deep research and synthesis, i.e. your market intelligence, due diligence, analyst briefings. And then lastly, self-RAG, which is your high stakes accuracy, i.e. medical, financial or regulatory summaries. So it's not about RAG versus no RAG. It's about which flavor of RAG fits your problem. Basic RAG, the version most companies rush to implement, has 3 major flaws. 1, relevance isn't the same as reasoning. 2, search breaks when data is messy. And 3, it doesn't scale to multi-step logic. That's why researchers like Do Kiela, CEO of Contextual AI, are pushing what he calls RAG 2.0. In his words, we need models that can understand and combine the retrieval information, not just dump into a prompt. That's where orchestration frameworks like your LangChain, your semantic kernel come in. Chaining steps, evaluating results, and dynamically re-retrieve it. Cool. So what does the future look like? Well, here's where it gets exciting. Think on Graph 2.0, alternates between graph retrieval and context retrieval to improve reasoning. HiRAG introduces hierarchical layers, filter, combine, and then reason. X2Gen extracts before generating to reduce hallucination. And then self-RAG I briefly touched upon, allows the model to reflect and decide if more data is needed. So RAG 1.0 is like a librarian handing you a book. RAG 2.0 highlights the right chapters. RAG 2.0 Plus is a research assistant who reads multiple books, compares arguments, and writes executive summary for you. So what should you do if you're leading AI in your organization? So start with RAG 1.0, where it makes sense. Simple bots, internal search, absolute fun. Upgrade to hybrid or graph RAG once your data grows complex or cross-reference. Adopt those orchestration framework when accuracy, reasoning, and traceability start to matter. And don't forget governance, traceability, and source attribution are now becoming regulatory expectations. And if you're buying AI tools, ask vendors which retrieval strategy they use. If the answer is just vector search, you're buying 2023 tech in a 2025 world. I spent the last year working with clients testing these variants, and here's the truth. There's no best version. There's only one that fits your use case. If you want the RAG decision tree showing which version works where, or the latest research links from guys like Patrick or Dowie, reach out, because RAG isn't the end game. It's just the bridge to what comes next.